Good morning, everybody, and visualize all sentient beings in three realms. Physically, we are different. Mentally, we all has the same thing. After visualize all sentient beings around you and reflect their sufferings, the physical sufferings, mental sufferings. When we reflect all the suffered sentient beings, then we can have compassion, love, sense of carings. Therefore, please cultivate compassion towards all sentient beings. Within the generating compassion, please visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, in the space in front of us. Then generate bodhicitta, the mind which wish to be Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. So I will recite verses from the commentary on the awakening mind. Just as the blessed Buddhas and great Bodhisattvas have generated the mind of great awakening, I too shall. From now until I arrive at the heart of awakening, generate the awakening mind in order that I may save those who are not safe, free those who are not free, relieve those who are not relieved, and have thoroughly transcend sorrow those who have not thoroughly transcended sorrow. Have a strong commitment to liberate all kinds of sentient beings free from sorrow, sufferings. Thus, Bodhisattva, who practice by means of secret mantra, after have generated awakening mind, in terms of conventional aspect, in the form of an aspiration. So many of us, we do Tantrayana practice. Also, we do mantra recitation. In order to practice the Tantrayana, in order to recite the mantra, we must generate the conventional bodhicitta. Within the conventional bodhicitta, then you can do the recitation and Tantrayana practice. Second, must then produce the ultimate awakening mind through force of meditative practice. I shall therefore explain its nature. So here now we can see very clearly why we need to practice Dharma. Practicing Dharma is only for liberation, seeking liberation. Liberate from suffering, sorrow. In order to be liberated, in order to liberate all sentient beings from sufferings, we need ability, we need power. Therefore, so we wish to be Buddha. Becoming Buddha is not only our own benefits. Becoming Buddha, achieving enlightened state, mainly true benefits all sentient beings. And how we can be Buddha, how we can achieve the fully enlightened state through practice of bodhicitta based on compassion. Then there are two kinds of bodhicitta. The first, the conventional bodhicitta, mainly the mind which is have a strong aspiration, wish to be Buddha. So in order to achieve Buddhahood, in order to be Buddha, we need to practice the conventional bodhicitta with the ultimate bodhicitta. The ultimate bodhicitta means the mind which is realize the nature, the truth nature, which is emptiness. Emptiness, right? Clear. Now you can see our practice is very, order. Becoming Buddha. For what reason? I want to be Buddha to benefit, to save, to relieve all sentient beings. So why you have to care? Why you are so concerned about all sentient beings? Because all sentient beings equally wants to be happy, equally don't want suffering as me, as us. And this moment, in this lifetime, we are very, very, very fortunate. This love is, maybe the once the fortunate life, we can recognize all sentient beings as our dearest mother. Therefore, I have the responsibility to save, relieve, free all sentient beings from sufferings, because they don't want sufferings. Like you are very kind mother, you are very kind sister and brother, and you have a very loving relatives. You have very loving, little sister, little brother. So when you see your sister and or brother have a lot of sufferings, lot of problems, then you have a responsibility to, save, free, relieve your relatives from sufferings, because you have a link as a relatives, as a brother, as a sibling. So therefore, right now, then we are going to practice the ultimate bodhicitta. So how we can practice ultimate bodhicitta? We can practice when we realize the ultimate bodhicitta, which is emptiness. how we can realize emptiness. We have only two means, two methods. Once we read the Dharma text, which is explained emptiness very precisely, very detailedly, without any mistakings. This is one means to realize emptiness. The second, the most important means we have to use reasonings and logics. Within these two methods, then we can realize emptiness. Among the emptiness, there are so many, emptiness according to the all phenomena. There's 100 phenomena, then there are 100 emptiness of each of the phenomena. Therefore, we need to focus on emptiness of our own emptiness. Emptiness of our mind, emptiness of ourself. Right? So it doesn't matter the pot, the chair nature is emptiness or not. Most important for us, we need to realize our own nature. We need to realize the truth nature of our mind. Therefore, we can see all the Nalanda master, including Buddha Shakyamuni, they always talk the two kinds of emptiness, the two kinds of selflessness, emptiness of the being, emptiness of the phenomena, emptiness of I, emptiness of my or our minds. So in order to realize emptiness, first everybody have to agree, have to accept things are there, right? Things are there. We cannot deny. We cannot deny there's no weather. We cannot deny there's no land, no water, no wind. Everything is there. There's a water, there's a mountain, there's a forest, there's a car, there's a human, there's a food. So we have a body, we have a mind. We have to omit. We have to accept. Things are there. Then the most important question, we can rest here ourselves. Yes, things are there. How the things exist? How the things arise? Then there's always duality. There's always kind of double side, double faces, duality. For example, you believe one of the person is your best friend. Your best friend, you really, really very much trust the person. If the person is a double faces, the double standard, then you believe, you very much trust the person, but the person always deceive you because your friend, your best friend has a two faces. Showing the nice face, actually he or she has another ugly face. Showing I am your best friend. I am very honest with you. I always care you. They're showing this face. This is one face. There's another face. I don't care you. I deceive you. I don't trust you. Then the friend appear to you is the best friend, but he or she always deceive you because the friend has double faces. Same thing, so things appear to us, there's a two faces, dualities. It is not duality from the object side. It's always a duality because of our perception. For example, the gold is pure gold. It doesn't matter it's bring into east, west, south. The gold is always pure gold. Due to our perception, we think it is not a gold, it's a fact. Because of our perception. Therefore, things appear to us as an independent thing, right? Independent. Exists independently, exists inherently. This is our perception. So we always believe based on our perception. Therefore, things appear to us independent, beautiful. Then we have an attachment. We have a desire. Things appear to us as an independent ugliness. Then we generate anger, hatred. So we need to realize, we really need to realize there's always duality. Things appear to us as a permanent, but actually those are impermanent. Like, things which we have, the house, the car, the lifestyle, is impermanent. But for us, we always believe, we always think these are permanent. Then we have a lot of confusion. So we need to, all the teaching which is explained, introduce emptiness for us, is teach us there's a duality, there's a two faces. You should not trust the thing which appear to you as an independent. Therefore, things arise, things exist. How things arise, right? How things arise, exist. Then there's a kind of only all four optional, only fours. Things arise, how they arise. Things arise is independently or dependently. Right? First you think how things arise. If I ask you a question, please you answer in your mind. Do you believe things exist or not? Yes, things exist around us. The sun, the moon, the mountain, the water. The thing exists. We cannot deny. The fire exists. Therefore, the fire burns something. The fire cooks some things. Then how the things exist, arise independently or dependently, substantially or not substantially, inherently or not inherently. Please answer in your mind. Yes, some you may think thing exists, arise independently. Some you may think thing exists, arise dependently. The people who think exists independently, inherently, substantially, ultimately, solidly, then there are only four options. Only four options. Please remember what are the four options. If things arise independently, then things must be arise self, maybe arise from other, or maybe arise both, or maybe arise causelessly, right? Causelessly. There's 4 options. Therefore, if you believe things exist safely, arise themselves, then there's a few problems, right? Therefore, we chant the enter into middle way until the 4 optionals. 4 options. Page number 7. On the directly facing, he abide in the mind of meditative equipoise and turn to the attributes of perfect Buddhahood. This Bodhisattva who sees the truth of the dependent origination attained the truth cessation by dwelling in the wisdom. Then this sentence you can change when you read yourself. I, right? For example, I, Geshe Yonten, I Yonten. If I see the truth of the dependent origination, I can attain the truth cessation by dwelling in the wisdom. Just as a single man with the eyes can easily lead a group of blind men to their direct destination, here too, intelligence leads the sightless virtues and guides them through the conqueror states. So when you chant this sentence, you need to remember a mind with the eyes can easily lead the group of blind men. But you are not a group mind. You can say, just as a single, man with the eyes can easily lead me, right? Me, because we are look like blind, me through the desired destination. The next sentence, who has realized the utterly profound truth through scriptures and through reasoning as well, was the noble Nagarjuna's. So I will expound here his tradition as is appeared in his treatise. So two things important, through scriptures, through reasonings. Then you can realize emptiness. Even ordinary person, when hearing about emptiness, share joy surges again and again within their heart. Tear born of the such as joy fill their eyes, and their hair stand up in their fall listlessly. So this, and when you chant, when you read this sentence, you need to really feel great joyness. You're joyness. Why? So emptiness is the only methods, only means us can be free from suffering. So we found, the right path, which is emptiness. So eons of eons, we are in samsara. If we don't understand emptiness is emptiness is the path to liberation, to Buddhahood, then we can be in samsara forever. Therefore, we must recognize, always remember, I am the luckiest person. I'm so fortunate to be born as a human. We are very fortunate to have this opportunity to study Dharma, particularly study about emptiness. So this lifetime, I put all my effort. I will use all my time to understand, to realize emptiness. If we put great effort, definitely we will realize emptiness. Definitely. If we don't put effort, definitely we're not going to realize emptiness by blessing, by chanting, by kind of miracles power. There's no hope. So as much as you can, think again and again how things exist. Independently, dependently. Inherently, not inherently. Substantially, not substantially. Think continuously for a few months. Then within few months, then you will feel, oh, I think I can realize emptiness. Right? Therefore, please remember this sentence. Next one. Such as people have the seeds of perfection, Buddhahood. They are the perfect vessel for this teaching. To them, you should teach the sublime ultimate truth. For them is the ensuing qualities will come to birth. Adopting perfect morality, they will always abide by it. Therefore, it is very easy to adopting perfect moral. It's very easy to adopting morality. Very easy to adopting vows. But maintaining is not easy at all, particularly in this time. This time. You always want to be honest. Yes, everybody always wish to be very honest. Then there are some millions of people around you who will deceive you. I always want to be very compassionate. Always compassionate with everybody. Again, there are some millions of people who are around us, always try to advantage from us. It's not easy to maintain the ethics, not easy to maintain the vows. What we need to think, if somebody will deceive me, let them deceive. They can deceive only by this life. But through maintaining the vows, through maintaining my morality, I will achieve Buddhahood, right? Therefore, so when we practice compassion, practice morality, must combine with the wisdom, Adopting perfect morality, they will always abide by it. They will practice generosity and cultivate compassion. They will practice forbearance and will dedicate thoroughly their virtues to freedom for all beings. They will reverse those who aspire to perfect awakening, gaining mystery of the way profound and vast. Such a person will gradually attain ground of perfect joy. So all those who thus aspire, pray, listen to these paths. Right? Here's a two things: the way, profound, and vast. So we are very interested to practice the vast, parts of the vast practice, like recitation, chanting, meditation, practice compassion, kindness, tolerance. But without the profound practice, it cannot be that effective to cut the ignorance. Therefore, we have to practice the vast and profound path together, always together. Therefore, I said many times, maybe some of you may feel quite tired to listening. Even though when you do simple practice, doing prostration 3 times in the morning, your prostration must combine with the emptiness. It looks like if you combine your 3 times prostration with the emptiness, it looks like very simple practice, but it's very profound, become very important practice. It is very easy to lead a light. Somehow every day you are doing recitation, you are leading a light, you are burning an incense. Why not? All this practice you combine with the emptiness, with the compassion, with the bodhicitta. Then it looks very simple, but the practice is the perfect practice. Right? Therefore, he has the way profound and vast. The next sentence, do you remember the verses from the Mula Madhyamikavatara? So after the no arising, no cessation, right after there's a 4 lines. Please memorize the 4 lines. First you read the 4 lines, then you can reflect on the emptiness. Right? Therefore here, give me a second. 109. Neither from self, not from other, nor from both, nor without a cause, does anything whatsoever, anywhere, ever arise. In Tibetan, Da le main, Jen le min, Ni le main, Yume min, Ngobo kangda, Kana yang, there's a yang, Hewa nam yang, Yuma yang. So here's a whatsoever. In few times, with neither from self, not from other, nor from both, nor without a cause, does anything whatsoever, anywhere, ever arise. Then suddenly you can see there are 4 conditions: causal condition, preceding condition, immediate condition, dominant condition. Just so, there's no 4th condition, right? So that means things arise from causes and condition. There are only 4 conditions. What are the 4 conditions? The causal condition, the perceptive condition, immediate condition, dominant condition, just so. They mean things arise from condition, all the condition phenomena arise from condition. There are only 4 conditions, not the 5th. There's no 5th condition. If things arise safely, independently, then there must be 5th condition, right? Because the chapter 1, like examination of the condition. So please remember the first sentence and remember the second sentence, which is talking about the 4 conditions. So related to this sentence, then Nagarjuna start here, not originating from self, and how from something other, not from both, and how from not cause. That means if things arise inherently, independently, there are only 4 possibilities or 4 options. So Nagarjuna, all the Pasangika, proponents, they reject originated from self, originated from something others, originated from both, and originated from causeless. They reject. Then the 3rd and 4th line, you can see, if things originated from themselves, the first option, nothing is gain. Furthermore, something already born cannot repeat its birth. Things arise from themselves, right? From themselves. That means we cannot achieve, we cannot gain anything, because the thing arising is continuously repeating this, arising themselves. Then not depend on other condition. If not depend on other condition, how we can say something generating, something developing, right? The first criticize. Second one, furthermore, something already born cannot repeat its birth. If something arises from themselves, arising from self, right? That means then first, for example, the seeds arise from seeds. Then second seeds also arise from seeds. Then the seeds cannot produce sprout. And also, if things arise twice, arise again and again mean first moment the seeds arise, same seeds arise second moment, the same seeds arise third moment, then the seeds can be permanent, right? Permanent. Therefore, when we think about how the seeds produce sprout, how the cause produce, production, is we are not talking about, like long time. Each moment, first moment produce second moment produce third moment. When we see the cause, that moment, we cannot see the effect, right? We cannot. Can you? We cannot. When we see the effect, the result, that moment, we cannot see the cause. The cause already ceases. When we see the cause, this moment you can see only the cause, you cannot see the effect, which is produced from the cause, because the effect haven't arisen yet. Therefore, how we can see? So when you think about cause and effect, you must think everything is changing momentarily. First moment come, second moment haven't arrived. Second moment arrive, first moment cease. So things all the conditioned phenomena, like exist this way, just moving moment by moment. Therefore, something already born cannot repeat its birth. Therefore, according to Greek philosophy, they use the analogy, you cannot step twice in the stream, in the running water, right? So you are crossing water, water is running so fast. When you step 1 feet, second, you move another step, the first water has gone. Therefore, you cannot step twice in the stream, in the river. You cannot. Therefore, things arise only once. Once. If you think this way, then for you, very easy to understand impermanent, momentarily changing. Right? Repeat. This continuously, refuting the arising from self. If you concede that what is one arise can arise again, if you think, what is one arisen, mean already arisen, can arise again, then the growth of sprout and so on will never happen in the world. The sprout already arisen, arise again, then when the sprout actually arises, right? One arisen, it cannot arise again. If something already arisen, arise again, then the cause cannot produce the effect. For example, the already arisen seeds arise again, then the seeds cannot produce sprout. If the seed continuously producing seeds again and again, they cannot produce, the sprout. Therefore, you say, if you conceive that what is one arisen can arise again, the growth of sprout and so on will never happen. Will never happen in this world. This world, I mean, in a conventional or in the samsara, it's never happened. So he's also refuting arising from self. Then second, the seeds will reproduce themselves until the end of the time, right? The seeds arising from seeds themselves. Then the seeds continuously produce seeds and seeds, never, always produce the seeds until the end of the seeds. For who can sprout ever bring about the seeds cessation? Then how can sprout ever bring about the seeds cessation? Also, cessation, please remember, when we reflect on the Four Noble Truth of cessation, means cease the negative thoughts, cease the afflictive thoughts, emotions, cease. Therefore, when sprout arise, first moment the sprout grow, arise, the seeds cease, right? Cease. When the sprout arise or grow, that time the seeds still there, then the seeds cannot be caused to produce a sprout. Therefore, how can the sprout ever bring about the seeds cessation? Because the seeds cannot be ceased, because the seeds produce seeds again and again. Generally, the seeds cease when the sprout originate, when the sprout arise, right? Then, when we think about the external phenomena, seeds and sprout, you can see when you put the dry seeds on the land or in the pot. Second, you add a water. When you add the water, the first seeds has changed. Don't you think so? Because first moment you put the seed is very dry seeds. When you add water, the dry seed change. After you add the water, the seed change momentarily. It's changing. There's a lot of changing. Then finally you can see the seeds become, like a more soft. Then among the seed you can see arising a sprout. So when the sprout arises, grows, the seeds no more there, cease. Therefore, how can the sprout ever bring about the seeds cessation? Is also refuting the arising from self. Next, 6.10. For you, then, there cannot exist a sprout distinct from the seeds and the cause it. Because this the view from the non-Buddhist school, right? One of the non-Buddhist school, they believe the cause and effect. The seed and support has a one kind of entity. It's a kind of one nature. Right, one nature. If the seeds and the support, there's no distinction, then there's a problem. For you then, there cannot exist as a sprout distinct from seeds that cause it. There was a problem. Then in the shapes, color, taste, potency, repeat effect. If the seed and support has a one entity, then there cannot be a different shape between seed and sprout. There cannot be a different color between seed and sprout. There cannot be a different propensity between sprout and seed because they are identical, according to the non-Buddhist school. Right? The Sankhya schools, from the Sankhya school. So, among the non-Buddhist school, the Sankhya emit or omit things arise from self. The seed and sprout, cause and effect as a one entity. For you then, there cannot exist a sprout distinct from the seeds that cause it. They said the seed that cause it in the shape, color, taste, potency, and repeat effect. If it is through showing is pure reality, that a thing turned into another thing, how they can be to be, how then can the two be identical? According to the Sankhya tradition, how they, posit cause and effect, something arise. It's very interesting if you study precisely in their school. They see the shoning, right? Shoning the sprout. When we put the dry seeds in the pot, they say the sprout is already there. That moment, the sprout is always there. But we cannot see because, it is not manifest for us. When we see the seeds produce like a tree, it's just, we perceive, it appears to us, actually, the tree is there when the seed is there. Therefore, he's saying, if it is through, showing sprout reality, that a thing turned into another thing. How can the two be identical? So this one you need to know. Their view, the Sankhya point of view. The next, 6.11, if for you the seed is not different from the sprout before us, according to your tradition, from your point of view, seed is not different from the sprout before us, then just like the seeds, what you call the sprout would be invisible or bring identical. Just like the sprout, the seeds too should be received. Thus, you should not uphold this thesis of identity of cause and effect. So for them, cause and effect are identical. Next, 6.12, because the effect can be seen when the cause is no more. Even ordinary people do not accept that the two are one. Thus, the postulation, the thing originates from themselves, is untenable in the reality as well as in the everyday experience. So everyday experience on the conventional level of point of view from the worldly beings, nothing can be arise from self. Therefore, even ordinary people do not accept that the two are one, which is cause and effect. Because the effect can be seen when the cause is no more. Right? This is very important. When we can see the effect when the cause is no more there. When we see the effect, that time, the cause which is produced the effect, then there's two problems. The cause can be permanent, or the cause cannot produce the effect. For example, you put a seeds, then the seeds produce a sprout. When we see the sprout, that time, still you can, if you still the seed is there, then the seeds can be permanent, or the seeds cannot be caused to produce the effect. Right? Then, in conventional level, when we think about we and the mother who give a birth, do we meet each other or not? The mother who give a birth, us, do we meet each other or not? Because the mom, when we think about very precisely, the mom who are pregnant, the mom who carry us in the stomach, right? When she already give a birth, the pregnant mother is no more there. Because she already gave a birth. There's no baby in stomach. Therefore, you can see the order is changing very fast. But due to our this perception, we believe the mother who talking with us, the mother who care us, we think the mother is the same mother who are pregnant. It's our mistaken. But the mother who care us always talk together, always eat together. The mother is the continuum of the mother who give a birth, who become pregnant, who go through all the sufferings. Therefore, if we see the cause, that moment, if the when we see the effect, that time the cause is there, the cause can be permanent, the cause cannot be caused to produce the effect. Just as like the seeds, what you call the sprout would be invisible, because the effect can be seen when the cause is no more. Even ordinary people do not accept that the two are one. Thus, the postulation that things originated from themselves is untenable in reality, as well as in everyday experience. Therefore, cause and effect cannot be one. If things arise from self, then cause and effect must be one. Next, 6.1.13. 6.1.13. This sentence, the logics, mainly come from the Madhyamikavatara. This sentence, the actually meaning, the logics is come from the Madhyamikavatara. If you assert self-arising, the produced and that which produces, as well as the act and agent will become identical. Right? So also you remember this sentence, actually the meaning, the logics, mainly come from Madhyamikavatara. Because the effect, so if you assert self-arising, then what happened? The produced and that which is produces, as well as the act and the agent will become identical. Then what's the problem? Then since they are not the same, we reject self-arising. Fourth is entails the unwanted consequences explain the length. If things arise from self, then producer and produce become one. The act, agent become one. So we, Nagarjuna say, this thing we cannot accept to be same. So until here is mainly refute arising from self-arising. Then 6.14, if something can originate from something other, then the pitch darkness can originate from the burning flames. In fact, everything could arise from everything. For after all, being other equal pertains to all non-producing things. So since here, they're refuting arising from other, arising from self, arising from other. Then I hope you remember, last time I explained you what does mean arising from other. Arising from other. Who are the proponent who assert thing arise from other? Mainly, like Buddhist school, below the Pasangika, right? Sutrantika, Vaibhashika, Chitta Mantra, and the Vaibhashika. And Swatantika. These are first among the four schools. Below the Pasangika, everybody, all the proponents, they believe arising from other. What's the definition arising from other, right? Please make sure first, you must have a strong conviction, nothing arises from self. There's no self-arising. No self-arising, right? Therefore, when we visit, like a holy place like Nepal, Bhutan, or maybe Bodh Gaya, India, or Myanmar, Thailand, you can see people believe self-arising Tara, self-arising Buddha. There's not such a thing we can say self-arising. Also, something we Buddhist people are very blunt. Very blunt. For example, when you go in the Himalaya, particularly I think many of you visited Bhutan, yes, everywhere they can see, oh, this is the shoes of the Pema Sambhava, head of Pema Sambhava. This. The rock has a similar shape as a shoes. The rock has a similar shape as a bell and vajra. Then they believe this is kind of mystery, kind of bell and vajra. Of course, when you look at the rocks and mountains, there's so many different kinds of shape. Some look like Buddha, some look like Tara, something look like vajra, something look like bell, something look like cow and sheep. It's nothing special. Because this thing has a shape like a sheep, like a goat, like a Buddha. Because the shape, turned as a look like Buddha actually doesn't mean something special. It's nothing. And also they believe self-arising. There's not such as we can accept self-arising. If you follow Buddha Shakyamuni teaching, if you follow, like a truth Buddha teaching, there's no self-arising. Things arise from cause and condition. And arising from other means something arises, something produced by cause. The cause itself exists substantially, ultimately. That means substantial cause, substantially existent produce substantial effect. Inherently existent cause produce inherent effect. This is the meaning of arising from other. Therefore, when you read the salutation verses from the Mula Madhyamikavatara, independent origination. There's no ceasing, no arising, right? Because below the Pasangika school, they believe substantially existent produce substantial effect. Therefore, there's a arising, there's a cessation. If nothing exists substantially inherently, then there cannot be arising, there cannot be cessation, they are reasoning, right? Therefore, things arise substantially, substantial cause produce substantially existent cause is the definition of arising from other. Arising from other. Clear? So first, refute self-arising. Second, refute arising from other. Mainly refuting the point of view from below the Pasangika. Right? If things arise from other, then what happened? If something can originate from something other, then the pitch darkness can originate from burning flames. That means the flame can produce darkness. In fact, everything could arise from everything. So how it can be happen if substantially existent cause produce substantially existent cause, then the fire, the lamp can produce darkness. How it can be happen? Right? Usually when you produce a light, the darkness has gone. So the light cannot produce darkness. The flame cannot produce darkness. If substantial existent cause produce substantially existent fact or effect, then everything arises from everything. Everything can produce everything, anything. How? Here, then you need to think mainly substantially existent means the cause exists substantially, inherently. That means the cause exists established, not depend on anything. Then the cause which is exists substantially, independently, able to, they say, produce the cause. They say you are just saying, if the cause is very independent cause, then the cause cannot produce effect, right? Because the cause is being independent existent, not depend on anything. Then how they can produce the effect? When they produce effect, the cause need to depend on something else, right? Therefore, if things arise from other, there's two problems. One, for example, the burning fire, the burning flame can produce, the pitch darkness. Second, everything could arise from everything. After all, being other equally pattern all non-producing things. This is the rejecting the arising from others. The next sentence, 6.15, opinion. Opinion, when they say, if you accept arising from other, these are the problems. Then they respond, opinion or respond, no, it cannot be like that. So the next sentence, 6.15 is opinion or is kind of rejection. Who rejection? Rejection from the below the Pasangika school. Okay, so right now it's 11:15. So we don't have a lot of time. So I think today we cannot have the class for essence of eloquence. I think we must have a more question and answer to clarify it. So please feel free. You can have any kinds of question. So first you have to feel free. You should not think I should ask this question, I should not ask this question. And also last time after the group puja, somebody texted me, somebody asking a question, so I will respond, I will answer the question. Somebody asked, Geshe, I haven't seen all that any dharma protectors. How I can visualize the dharma protector? It's very true. Also, you can say, how I can visualize all the Buddhas. We haven't seen any Buddha in our lifetime, right? Right? This is a question when we visualize the field of merit. First, when we do the soul offering, when we do prostration, when we make mandala offerings, when we offer incense and light, it is so important. We need to visualize the Buddha and Bodhisattva. In TBC, we have a statue of Buddha, Shakyamuni, Manjushri, Zabala, Thara, so and so. Those are just statues. Those are the things to remember as the Buddha. It is not real Buddha, right? These are just statue, painting, picture. But we must respect. We put high respect. But they are not real Buddha. First, in order to visualize the Buddha, so we need to read, sutra, which is explain the quality of the Buddha, qualities of the Buddhas. Also, we need to read, sutra, other teaching, which is explain the quality of the Bodhisattvas. We commonly be able to visualize Buddha Shakyamuni because based on the picture and painting. So after you read the sutra or other texts about Buddha, then you can have some idea what Buddha is look like. For example, I think most of you never been to my village, Zanskar. If I ask, please visualize Zanskar, maybe you're going to visualize maybe Indonesia, like Malaysia, Thailand, Burma, right? You think, oh, there's a mountain, there's a tree, there's a snow mountain. Yes, but you are not actually visualizing Zanskar. You're visualizing mountain, snow, but you are not visualizing Zanskar. Then, before you visualize Zanskar, I will say, I can explain, I need to explain, oh, Zanskar, you look like there's a river, there's a mountain, then there's a bridge, on the this side monastery, and this side the village. Then you have a picture of the Zanskar. Same way, you just visualize Buddha based on the teaching, sutra. So when we visualize field of merit, if you could, you can visualize many, many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. If you cannot, simply in the center you visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, in the center Buddha Shakyamuni. On the left side, you visualize Manjushri. On the right side, you visualize Maitreya Buddha, the profound, the vast, teaching holder. That means center Buddha Shakyamuni, then Manjushri and Maitreya Buddha. Then if you could, then you just imagine just below the Nagarjuna, so below the Manjushri, you can visualize Nagarjuna based on the painting. Then below the Maitreya Buddha, you can visualize a Sangha. Right? That means there's a Guru and Bodhisattvas there. Then below the Maitreya Buddha, Nagarjuna, Asanga, you can visualize one Dharma protector, which is you knew about like a Mahakali, Mahakala, Kalarupa, whatever you know about the Dharma protector. The Dharma protector which you visualizing in the merit field. In the merit field, actually it is Bodhisattva or Buddha, but manifests as a Dharma protector. You cannot visualize non-transcendent being in the field of merit. Whatever we're going to visualize in the field of merit, it must be, like transcendent, like Buddha, Bodhisattva, but manifest as a Dharma protector. So that means how we visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattva, Dharma protector. Then if you could, then you can imagine, just imagine there's a millions of Buddha in the space. There's a millions of Bodhisattvas in the space. But for you, you can mainly visualize Buddha, Manjushri, then Maitreya Buddha, then Nagarjuna, Asanga. Below, you can visualize one of the Dharma protectors. How to visualize, So if you have a many idea about Buddha, Bodhisattva, then you can visualize, many as much as you can. Okay, so can we have a question?
Yes. So, okay, my question pertains to how production from itself. So I agree with you that when the sprout is produced, the seed ceases. Mm-hmm. But before that, the first moment when the seed is existing, the seed also changes from itself, right? First moment of seed changes to the second moment, to the third moment, to fourth. So there is production from self in that sense, right? at that stage.
Okay, you are right. When you think, first moment sit, second moment sit, because we think about three times, third moment, first, second, third. First moment, there's a sits, right? The first moment sits produce second moment sits. When you compare the first moment sits and second moment sits, these two sits are totally different. Therefore, the sits cannot produce, themselves. And second moment sits produces the third moment sits. The third moment sits is totally different from the second moment sits. Therefore, there's no self-production.
Also, in that sense.
Right? So it's very interesting. If we just observe, when you just look at the first moment sit, second moment sit, third moment sit, from our eyes, through our naked eyes, we cannot see the differences, right? We cannot.
Yeah.
Because our eyes has a limit kind of, power to see the truth and reality. In order to know why the first moment and second moment is not same, then we need to think. First, we need to think about the gross impermanent, the gross impermanent, right? Changing within one day. Changing within one day. The one day changing depend on 24 hours. 24 hours changing depend on 1 hour. If there's no changing, any changes within 1 hour, then there cannot be changes for 24 hours. 1 hour changes depend on 60 seconds. 60 seconds means 60 minutes. Then you can see there must be subtle changes. If you use this logic, then we must omit the first moment sit cannot be exist second moment. If first moment sit still exists without changing in the second moment, then the first moment sit can be permanent. This is number one. Or first moment sit cannot be produced the second moment, because we can see the first moment sit still, in the second moment sit. Then the second moment, first moment cannot be cause and effect, right? Therefore, yes, when we look at our naked eyes, we cannot see the changes. When you use the logics, then we can see, it's changing. There's no self-production, no self-arising. No question, right?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Are you quite clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's no question, right?
Yeah, so far there's none.
Okay. That means it's almost 11:30. I think next, what I think, so this moment, in the intermediate, is mainly rejecting, refuting the 4 kind of options: arising from self, arising from other, arising from both, arising from causeless. It's mainly talking about emptiness of the phenomena. So later, we start to explain the emptiness of the self. Like the next class, we will start from the emptiness of the self, right? Because when we attend His teachings, His always, most time he's explained emptiness of self. And the analogy was the chariot. For us, we no need to think about the chariot, because with the best we can see the car. We can use the car as an analogy to explain emptiness of the self. And also when you reflect, morning and night, evening, is very interesting. Let's say right now, what time is it? It's 11:30. Yes, let's say we had a breakfast, in the morning, maybe 7:30 or 8. This moment, if you really think, what was this morning, right now, the morning has gone. Yesterday has gone. Tomorrow haven't come. It doesn't mean this morning wasn't there. There was a morning, there was a yesterday. When you think very precisely, for you, everything is changing. Morning to afternoon, afternoon to evening, evening to tomorrow. When you look at the weather, sun, you can see sun rise is just moving towards sunset. So when you think about emptiness, you just not just stick in the teaching, okay? You read the teachings, you read the sentences, then you just look at things around you, how things are changing, how things are exist. Then for you, I think, much easy to understand impermanence, much easy to understand emptiness. So you have to reflect things around you. So thank you so much for attending the Sunday morning class. I'm really, I really appreciate all of you, because you are very busy for, like full week. Even the weekend is that, time for you to enjoy your friend, your family, or going for long walking or exercise. It's a very important day for you. Still, you totally, despite all the important things, still, try to attend, really, attend this kind of class. I personally rejoice, and thank you for attending the class. And have a happy Sunday. Okay, and bye-bye.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you,
And
Geshe.
everyone for attending. You can
Thank you.
unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.